And if you use up all your spoons, then life is gonna be hard. And guess what? I have 2 different invisible disabilities, and so life is hard squared. Hi, welcome to the intro to my channel. This is Spoonie Squared, and my name is Becky, Dr. Becky Sage, and Spoonie Squared is all about my life as a spoonie, but particularly related to the workplace. So what does Spoonie Squared even mean? Well, for those of you who don't know, a spoonie is somebody with an invisible disability who only has so many spoons to get through the day. And if you use up all your spoons, then life is gonna be hard. And guess what? I have 2 different invisible disabilities, and so life is hard squared. But let's not lose hope. It's not all disastrous. It's actually okay, because I have learned over the years how to survive, and maybe even a little bit of how to thrive as a Spoonie Squared. What is it that makes me a Spoonie Squared? Well, I'll start with the condition I knew about first. When I was 24 or 25, I started getting a lot of symptoms related to an autoimmune condition. Actually younger than that, 22 or 23. And 17 years after that, I was diagnosed with axial spondyloarthritis. So many years to get diagnosed, but I did know all along, and I was being seen by a rheumatologist because I had this autoimmune condition. And it means that I get a lot of swollen, painful joints. It actually started in my head and my neck. I got lots of fibromyalgia type symptoms, lots of headaches, what I thought was migraines at the time. And then I started to get these swollen fingers, swollen toes, lots of painful joints, and then crippling fatigue that would knock me out for a really long time. And then fast forward, so I eventually on one of my appointments with the doctor said, oh, and I'm getting a bit of pain in my back as well, particularly in my lower back, around my hips. And at that point they said, oh, because they thought it was maybe rheumatoid arthritis up to that point. In fact, I think I did have a diagnosis of rheumatoid arthritis for a while. And then they realized, no, not rheumatoid arthritis, you have the HLA-B27 gene, which means you have axial spondyloarthritis, or you have a condition that is under that kind of genetic umbrella. Having that diagnosis meant I then started to get help and management techniques for that, and it really helped me. And so that's my first spoonie-ness. And my second spoonie is that I am autistic, and that is something that I have only known about for, well, I guess I've known about for about a year, but I've only been diagnosed for about 2 months, despite having symptoms for 30 odd years. So, or longer. And so being autistic has really added to what goes on with my axial spondyloarthritis. And what I've realized now in hindsight is a lot of the times when I was really struggling was a mixture of these 2 things playing together. Like the physical condition by itself was actually manageable. Maybe the autism by itself, if I'd known about it, was manageable. But then you mix those 2 things together and it was really hard. Which has meant that I have had to spend my whole adult life really trying to figure myself out. People say that I'm super self-aware, and it's because I've had to find strategies in order to allow myself to, like I said, survive and thrive. So I'm really hoping that with this channel I can help you if you are a spoonie. I think that there'll be a lot of focus on what it is to be neurodiverse and the challenges that puts up for us. And I will also be looking at what it is to have an autoimmune condition and the challenges around that. But I actually think, like I said, there's an interplay between the 2. And often when we think about solutions, it works for both of them. And not only that, it works for people in general, because really at the root of what's going on are very, very human things, like very human desires. The desire to be able to be independent, to be able to have purpose and make an impact in the world, the desire to make money, which relates to the independence, of course, and relates to making an impact, the desire to be able to spend time doing things that you enjoy, and putting your skills to use, as well as going on nice holidays if that's what you would like. For me, spending a lot of time doing gymnastics, because that's something that's important to me. So that's something that's common for all human beings. And then the barriers that are put up with by being a spoonie are things like not having energy, struggling with social environments, struggling with certain norms, struggling with therefore anxiety and depression. And guess what? Those are all things, or struggling with financial situations. Those are all things that other people struggle with too. So what's really interesting is the mitigation strategies I've had to develop that I think can help people who also have autoimmune conditions and also are neurodiverse are also things that can help the general population as well. And then the other thing to say about this channel is that it's going to be specifically focused around work, because work is a place where all of these challenges come together, and it's a place where I have really struggled, but it's also been the most important thing in my life, is how do I build a career? Like, it's where my ambitions are. Like I said, I want purpose. I want to make an impact. And for me, that's about work, putting my skills into practice and creating something and being able to make money from that. And so I actually have noticed that there's not that much out there to help people specifically around thriving in the workplace when you're not neurodiverse, or when you've got a chronic condition, or and you know, like I said, that also can include things like anxiety and depression, both of which I have suffered with a lot during my life. So this channel will really focus on that, and I'd love to know what your questions and your challenges are in terms of the workplace, and if you can put that in the comments, that'd be great, because then I can make more videos that are going to help you with that. So that's a bit about where we are, and why can I talk about the workplace? Not only have I got my own strategies, but actually it is an area of specialty for me, both because I have built my own career, including being a CEO for 7 years. I'm now co-founder of another business, and I work with lots of different founders and lots of different people on their career paths, building out purposeful careers that also have financial reward. I'm also a lecturer in different universities, but in particular, I lecture at the University of Exeter. I have my own course on organizational talent. So that's all about how do we bring talent out? How do we help people to thrive in organizations? And that's all people. And that's something that is really, really important to me, how we enable people to thrive. And I know that this is what people want, is to be able to have the opportunity to thrive in the workplace, and therefore in your whole life. Like I said, post in the comments if there's anything you want to see on this channel, if you have any questions about me, about autism, about autoimmune conditions, about gymnastics, and about the workplace and how we can thrive together in the workplace. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. See you soon.